heal the body, psychic power, mental telepathy, any kind of advanced power that you need. You raise these shaktas, ojas, and kalas up, you're tapping into all types of advanced power. This is the key. But these forces are in the root chakra, latent down near between the anus and the scrotums, or the anus and the vagina, or whatever. It's almost like another dimension down there. That's called the root chakra, which color is red. That's where the feminine energy, the seat of the feminine energy is, and that's the kundalini energy that shoots up, is coming from that root chakra. But there's some forces so embedded and latent down there, but just like any forces that's embedded, they are more powerful than the ones that's just floating around because they're concentrated. These forces can only be brought up through extreme lust or extreme eroticism. So what you do is, for the male, what you can do is, you can have sex, try not to ejaculate, then immediately go in, meditate, imagine the energy, this spiritual energy shooting up your spine back into your third eye. And then you go and get in a deep sleep. With the valerian root, you can take some damn Simonex, I don't care. You gotta get to that deep sleep. When you get to that deep sleep, what happens here is these energies come up. I felt these things. In the deep sleep and all. And I mean, it burns like fire. It burns like fire. Because the kundalini burns like fire, but this was hot as hell. And it woke me up. I said, damn, this shit is on fire. This shit is working. But the next morning, I was able to read thoughts. I was able to tap into people's thoughts and read minds.
We got like 20 minutes.
Like 20 minutes, yeah, and read minds. See what I'm saying? So there's these latent forces that is brought on through this sexual energy. You see what I'm saying? The woman can enjoy it with the whole thing. She can do the climax because provided you don't lose too much energy. So just cut down on how many times you come or whatever the deal is, because you don't. You see what I'm saying? We literally lose the whole vital substance. Where they use just the discharge and all that type of stuff, you know. But now in that discharge is these same kalas, ojas, and shaktas. And they also tell you if you can take like these bracelets and talismans and stuff like that and put some of that juice on that shit, you can charge those things. See, we're trained that everything is nasty.
Right.
But this is the alchemical science. These things is instant. If this is the temple of God, then all this stuff is in us is for a fucking reason.
Right.
You see? So now what better powerful force is it that's so spiritual, other than some reading some Bible and shit, whenever you come in contact with another species half and sense it based on sexual energy. So the lust is that energy. It is that sexual power. That's why you got to get any books on sexual tantra. Like I say, Dr. John Mumford's book, Ecstasy Through Tantra, is a very good one. Dr. John Mumford's book, Ecstasy Through Tantra. And this is an excellent one here. This one here is an ass whipper here. This is one of the best ones out right now. Because they deal with all the magical stuff. Modern Sex Magic, Secrets of Erotic Spirituality, by Donald Michael Craig. Donald Michael Craig, K-R-A-I-G. R-A-I-G. Modern Sex Magic, Secrets of Erotic Spirituality. This one has all other 5 or 10 books all wrapped into one. This one is like the latest one out, and it's loaded. It's loaded with shit. On the magical side, so there's a magical side, you do magic with the sex thing, and then there's a sex tantric side where you raise a certain energy. It's both and all, and stuff and all that. We need to be dabbling in all this shit.
You say that again.
Modern Sex Magic, Secrets of Erotic Spirituality by Donald Michael Craig, K-R-A-I-G. And they got several other people. They got three or four other people that's dealing with this. This is one of the best ones I recommend out now. Also, I also tell you to get the book Ecstasy Through Tantra by Dr. John Mumford. That's a must-have. That's like a Bible because they show you all the sexual positions. They'll show you them in Kemet, they'll show you them in India, and all that, including this whole thing here. Do you know that?
Who?
It's called, this guy, Dr. John Mumford's book called Ecstasy Through Tantra. That's a must-have. Even this misconception, do you know that although the white boy reintroduced us back in the damn eating, do you know that eating and shit was an art form that we lost? They got the shit on the temple walls in Kemet as well as in India, and it's called Kunalini. That's an ancient art form. You know, as long as I got a face, you got a place to sit. Yep. Hey, baby, let me clean off a fake place for you to sit. But that shit might sound wrong, but that shit is all in the temple walls in ancient Kemet and in what you call it. They got a whole pipe. See, in Kemet, the dynastic period, they got rid of a lot of stuff. But your Typhonians moved on into India in this Kush, and a lot of that sexual stuff, the Kama Sutra and all those particular things, ended up in those temple walls. But now they got papyruses all in Germany, Russia, and in the British Museum of the Egyptians doing a whole lot of orgy stuff. You see what I'm saying? So the Dr. John Mumford's book gives the detailed account of all that stuff that you think is uncouth and all this kind of thing here. That shit is art form that we lost. You see what I'm saying? What's that?
Well, what is some of the magic? I mean, you talked about the magic. What is the magic?
The magic, sometimes, just some of the simple magic is what you do in a ritual where you light incense, you burn candles, you play spiritual drumming, and you take several things like the pentagram, the hexagram, and all these particular talismans and stuff like that. You have sex while that particular whole ceremony is going on. This whole magical thing. So what it is this here. Whenever you do the rituals, you call down the images of the gods. Well, we also know that we are gods too, so our higher selves can merge also too. So there's a whole, whenever you have sex, there's a whole other realm over here going on too. And the magical ambiance of how you do that is you polarize those particular realms, and also it helps you in the physical realm also too. You see what I'm saying? You figure, man, like I said before, you know, like I said, even if you had to come, just imagine just the force of an orgasm. If you put that to some stuff that you wanted to do here, that's some powerful shit. But we've been taught that all of that is bad. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you have to get over, the psychological aspect of that. You see what I'm saying? The psychological aspect of that type of stuff too. So there's all types of magical things, but they have all that in this book. Will go into detail. That's one good part about it is I always challenge people to just study, and it's you know, it's detailed, but it's got all types of stuff, including techniques for not ejaculating so fast. Cause that's one of the main dilemmas of the whole sex thing is the man with premature ejaculation.
Right.
You see that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I heard the Chinese got some stuff. they say you have to, just like you say, you have to think, focus real hard so you don't have an orgasm, an ejaculation. This you gotta focus hard to have an ejaculation.
You be working forever.
Dr. Michael Frost is teaching a seminar on those techniques for men only. It'll be August 17th up in Chelsea, Michigan. Tomorrow I'll have some flyers. I'll make some copies for you.
Right.
But that's the exercises in this book, Choosing Life, is basically showing how to clean up your energy so you can get into those techniques.
Yeah, so so this book here also gives, like I said, gives some techniques and stuff on breathing techniques and different things like that also, but then on how to stop the ejaculation, as well as, putting your hand between the anus and the scrotums. There's a place down there and all can stop the actual sperm flow.
The $1 million point.
Huh?
They call it the $1 million point?
Yeah. And stuff like that. So that particular part. Dr. John Mumford also shows you the whole area in his particular book. I think in this book here they deal with it also too. But that's one of the keys also too in this particular sexual tangent part. Let's go into a question and answer right quick. Since we, right now, let's go into a question and answer. Now tomorrow we gotta go to warfare with this whole voodoo thing. We're gonna deal with that tomorrow.
Okay, I got one other question.
Well, we only got 10 minutes, just wanted to say that.
Okay, on the tape.
Yeah.
So, but what about the regular question and answer?
I guess it can go on if y'all want to stay up, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, just so you know a little bit to get the people,
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the man conserves his energy by holding his orgasm, right?
Right.
Ejaculation. How does the woman gather energy?
That's just it. She's a succubus, which means that's not which means there's incubus and succubus.
Okay.
And basically, you hear these as a negative energy, but in actuality, what it is also too, in the metaphysical aspect of it and all, she's a negative, so she basically draws in energy.
Okay.
She actually draws in energy. You see what I'm saying? She draws in energy. They say because she doesn't ejaculate, but then again, that's bullshit too. We do know some women that do a lot. And also that's a form of training. They got an African tribe, and when they get 13, their main thing is they got to learn how to skeet on the wall. Literally skeet on the wall. No, the women. Skeet on the wall and wet up the wall. I ain't talking about no urine. I'm talking about literal vaginal fluids. You see what I'm saying? Vaginal fluids. Sound erotic, don't it, males? You're like, yeah, shit. Skeet on the wall. So we say you have women like that, but this is, so we also talking about different aspects of mistress of sex has been lost, as well as a woman finding her G-spot, which is up under right up under the top walls of the vagina. They go into it in this particular book too. As well as a little easier book called Tracy Cox's book, Hot Sex. Tracy Cox's book. But finding that G-spot, because when you start releasing that G-spot, and you get that to working good, you tapping into some advanced power also too on the woman aspect by getting that damn G-spot to be operational. You see what I'm saying? Being operational. And also too. This is, I'm saying, it might sound a certain way, but this is stuff that we've been locked outside of, and this is all advanced science and stuff like this and all. So y'all need to start working with that damn G-spot where you take your finger and try to massage this particular point. This book will give it to you, as well as if you want to get Tracy Cox's book. It's a pink and yellow book called Hot Sex, which is just on the mundane thing. They tell you everything. Like, then the white people got all these books, the Kensington Report and all that kind of stuff. This new shit that come out, they done corrected all that shit. So the new book, Hot Sex, by Tracy Cox, this is just for the regular shit. They really go into stuff, that they corrected all that shit even with them, but also it's good because it's also things that they corrected, but there's also stuff that's coming correct even with the black thing. So, There's a whole good chapter on tapping into that G-spot, because that's also spiritual energy. Anytime you opening up vortexes and walls and all that kind of stuff also too, that's spiritual energy also too. So y'all play with that damn G-spot until y'all get that motherfucker operational. What's that?
Is there anything in the book about men who can't hold an erection, or keep an erection?
Probably so, but then again, there's like I said, there's all types of stuff now, just blockages and stuff like that. I can say there's one spiritual thing that you can do. If there's a god, Papa Gede, if he called on Papa Gede usually don't fail you and stuff. Papa Gede usually don't fail you. And I ain't never really had no problem with that kind of stuff. But Papa Gede really rises to the damn occasion.
How do you spell Gede?
Gede, what's that?
G-H-E-D-E.
G-H-E-D-E, Papa Gede. Call on Papa Gede, Papa Gede. Papa Gede make your sexual rise. There's some spiritual things they can do also too. Another thing you can do also too is get that Maya's rum and call on the leg bar. You know, he's the god of the phallic, god of the penis. Call on a leg bar and blow that rum 4 ways, and then take some of that rum and blow it on the peewee down there too, and it should do the same thing too. See, spiritual things you can do also.
Can I ask you something? You know, okay, so you know, this a lot of this is new to me
Yeah.
that I'm willing to learn. You were just saying before that basically everything we've been taught is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you this question here, like, you know, when you go into the Old Testament and it
Yeah.
talks about circumcision, is that wrong?
The circumcision that they're talking about here is on a high level. The circumcision down here, the physical circumcision, that's just a rites of passage that all the African males, Egyptians, West Africans, and all of them, because that whole Hebrew thing is northern Ethiopian, that all the Africans in the civilized world did because of disease and stuff based on whatever. But if you wasn't circumcised, it didn't mean anything spiritually. The uncircumcised man that it was talking about that couldn't enter into the kingdom of heaven was talking about an uncircumcised pineal gland. Because you have a penis up here. So if you was uncircumcised, couldn't enter the kingdom of heaven, what about a woman? You know what I'm saying? It was talking about the pineal gland, and the uncircumcised pineal gland was a calcified pineal gland. One that doesn't work, which is the white man, the mutant. So it didn't have anything to do with circumcision as based on you not circumcision now. But that's just based on rites of passage and traditions of all ancient African people got circumcised, males. But if this is an illusion and it's the body, they say that this body is carnal body or whatever they call it and stuff is weak, then what difference does it make whether a person physically, the skin is circumcised? So it has a metaphysical meaning, but then again it also has a cultural meaning. And the cultural thing is that all African males, including the Egyptians, the Hebrews, and West Africans, were supposed to get circumcised at a certain time. You see, so it has a lot to do with that also too. Give me some more questions. What's that?
Are there strategies for women during sex?
Huh?
Are there strategies for a woman like there are for a man during sex not to lose so much fluid?
I think if it is, this book will tell you so. I don't think that losing the fluid is, I don't think losing the fluid is a big deal, as well as cutting down on the amount of orgasms. There's a difference between losing fluids and having the orgasms. The orgasms is where you lose a lot of energy. So one of the keys is to reverse the sexual experience where orgasm is not the aim. Now I've done this shit. I reversed it with an orgasm with the sexual tantrum, because like I said, I had a girl, she fucking 20, so shit, we was able to experiment like a motherfucker, you know. 20-year-old, shit, let's get it on. Whereas the orgasm is a thin line where the orgasm became a letdown. If you reverse it where literally just the thrust comes to the point whereas it becomes just as pleasurable to the level whereas it becomes in this particular zone, that is the ultimate goal. So the key here is to reverse it in the mind. Don't shoot for the orgasm as the aim. You see. Don't shoot for the orgasm as the aim. And as a result, shoot, we was able to go all night and in the next morning. And woke up and my head was full of energy because I knew then that it was talking about this power. You see what I'm saying? But then again, both of us was not orgasm. You know, we weren't doing the orgasm thing. So that's the key. A woman is a woman can deal with the orgasm thing, but there's a limit. But then again, on the other hand, sometimes it's not even, that's not the goal, period. You see. You see. That's not the goal, period. And you can reverse the whole thing because we're trained as children to go for the orgasm. They go into this particular book too, how the male is trained to go as orgasm. You see what I'm saying? And that has a lot to do with premature ejaculation because you automatically go there, because you're trained to go there. Whereas if you weren't trained and decided to go there, it would last longer anyway. You see what I'm saying? So that's some of the stuff. Just, you can work with this thing, you know. It ain't like the damn shit is going out of style tomorrow that you can't damn get in there and have sex without a damn orgasm. Like this is the last night on earth and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's some stuff you can work with on that particular level. Give me some questions.
I was gonna share with you, it was a movie on TV, as you were talking, and it was a man who taught husbands how to not have orgasm. And I remember now he was saying that was power.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That's interesting. What's that, brother?
I have one other one, brother, it's completely off from that subject, but it's relevant. Have you gotten a chance to read, and if you have, what do you think of the life works of R.A.'s Quality Lupix books? It was 3 volumes, I think it was Temple and Man.
Me and all that? Yeah.
And Karnak. He seemed to
Yeah.
be more intuitive of the cave dwellers of any anthropologists that I've read. I have not read all of them. But he seemed to be more into the metaphysical aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
well, Jung, I think Jung really taps into his stuff also too. Yeah, it's a lot of information and all. You just have to spend the time to deal with it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Spend the time to deal with it and all. Also too, remember, whenever we tap into that particular stuff, we can, just for the mere fact that you even dealing with those ancient science and those symbols, you put stuff back. So yes, I mean the stuff is the stuff is valued. You know what I'm saying? He himself said that he spent his life illuminating others and never illuminated himself on his deathbed. But then again, like I said, all the stuff is valuable and all. I got a lot of the stuff out of the other works, Temple, Sacred Science, and that Wisdom of the Temple, which they use that whole book, Wisdom of the Temple, to make the Book of Doors out of, which is this tarot card set. This excellent stuff. So all that is relevant. As a matter of fact, they talk about how the government in France put another guy out to attack him at every turn.
Oh, yeah. He's a heretic.
Yeah, yeah. And as a result, other guy got in a car wreck and died, and Swallow the Lupin stuff was able to go out anyway. You see what I'm saying? During the 60s and all that type of stuff. So all of it is relevant. Yeah.
It's great, it's just too bad it's just a mere 300 bones on
Huh?
average. I say it's just really too bad, it's, economically, it's not within a lot of people's price range, 300 bones.
Yeah,
Or,
listen, you gotta know your mathematics too, because he really is mathematically inclined also too.
Charts out everything.
You know, also too, in the particular book also too. Yeah. Give me some more questions.
Has the widow of Sheikh Diab came out with anything? Has she tried to carry on the torch from her
No, they put
husband's
the pipe to
assassination?
her ass and told her to give up all the stuff to France, so she gave all that back to France.
They did a George G.M. James on it, huh?
Yeah, but what they did with him, like I said, the information we got is they killed Diop.
Yeah. Well, I had to understand George King James had his tongue removed.
Yeah, stuff like that too. But they took stepped to his wife and made her give back all that,
Okay.
all his material and stuff and all. He had done some work on some hominid stuff on the white boy, based on some ape shit. And they didn't want that stuff to get out also too. They didn't want that stuff to get out also too. And they killed him right after he connected with the Africans over here and snuck out the country. And came over to Atlanta that time and all. He didn't even know the damn Trilateral Commission master gave him the key to the city, fucking Andrew Young. Of all people to go meet. You know, so yeah, so she turned back all the stuff over to the French government though. You see, yeah. Yeah, give me some more questions. Oh,
You
okay.
mentioned something
One
about
last, yeah.
serious beef.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little more about that?
If these things are not talking about physical realities, because that's only a hologram, they gotta be talking about spiritual realities inside of us. Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C. Sirius C is supposed to be the star of the woman and also a Sirius D. And in so many words, the Dogon talks about that as a futuristic locale. So in so many words, what we're talking about here is, we're talking about the same aspect as the mutation that they're talking about in the mutants. Or transmutation of a new species. You see what I'm saying? It's old enough to go to that particular level. So the Sirius B is nothing but, actually, it's the, I also talk about Sirius C, I also talk about how inside of the melanin, inside of us, down in the lower gastrointestinal tract, they call it the 8th chakra, or the lower part of the abdomen, is this little small seed. And that little seed is who we are. That would be that particular paradise of what they call this Yemiya or Imiya Sirius C. So it's all dealing with something inwardly. So it would be the Christ, the end result, the Ma'at, different names for it also.
One more time, where was it at again? Where's that little seed at again?
It's down in the 8th chakra, in the lower intestinal tract. Down there where that Kundalini energy, the ojas and the chakras and all that stuff I was talking about,
Okay.
rises up. That's what you're trying to rise up, is that Christ energy.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You see, the whole chakra thing, but it's down in the lower part of the lower intestinal tract, which is called carbonic acid. That's where melanin settles down there too. You see, that's why they talk about the fast. You basically went there and you cleaned out at that time to get down into that deepest part of the region. And then people went on all kind of spiritual journeys because they unloosened a dormant melanin of memory bank and certain amount of latent energies that was dormant and stuff. And they went on spiritual experiences based on the fast. But now, you know, we got all kind of colon cleansers and stuff like that to get a shortcut also too. Thank God for modern technology. You
You
know,
went more into detail on one of your tapes the last time you were here, if he's interested.
you see, on that latent energy also too. Yeah. But like I said, a lot of this is also brought up through sexual energy and lust. And lust. What's
So
that?
what is it when you having dreams of it and it's like you feel it in the dream, you having sex in the dream, you know?
Two things. Either that is the latent energies that you're tapping into that is giving you signals, or in actuality, we also exist on other planes. And you can literally be having sex with another entity on another plane. You see what I'm saying? The key is to get it where it's conscious, where it's not necessarily dreams. And as it gets stronger and all, that sex will become way better than the sex you have in the physical and stuff. Yeah.
You were giving us specific rituals for specific things, but I wanted to find out if there's something that we could practice like on a daily basis just to enhance our powers, you know, like an enhancement ritual.
Yeah, well basically your libations do that. Your libations daily, you can pour your libations daily with certain candles lit. Give them, feed the energy certain food. And blow that drum 4 ways and stuff. You can do that as a ritual and it enhance the energy also too. It enhance the energy also too. with certain candles and certain things like that too, so it enhances that energy too. So there's certain things you could also do. You know, but your libations is one of the ones. Also, writing out poetic invocations to whatever entity that you want to get a certain energy from. Invocations also does it too. And the best rituals are the ones you write yourself. You know, the ones you write yourself. Tomorrow we're going to deal with this Vodun Gnostic warfare, and we're going to go to war, and what it also deals with based on the offensive also too. As well as going to that world of energies that's real powerful that actually can help us manifest a lot of this particular stuff that we're dealing with now. Like I said, this is some stuff that the white boy is very scared of, is this particular power. As well as we're going to cross-stream it with another stuff called Polymenombi, which is the dark side of Santeria, which is all this is nothing but the African science, and also Macumba. From these systems coming from Puerto Rico, Polymenombi, Macumba from Brazil. And this is powers that we can use. These veves, when you put them down on the floor, you do some things with it all, you draw energy to these particular parts. It's no different than you typing something on the keyboard, and whatever you type in on the keyboard comes up on the screen. Well, these are actual keys and stuff, the veves are the veves and stuff that you pull down that particular energy of that particular God force that you want to manifest. You see also too. So any more questions? We still on tape? Oh man, that's good. What's that?
Did you get a chance to attend any of the Melanin conferences that they had or something?
Yeah, I attended the last, not the
Was Richard
recent.
King there?
The recent ones?
Yeah.
No, I haven't attended the recent ones. No, last one I attended was the one they had in '94, the last big one. I spoke at the last one in '94, but I haven't attended a lot of the stuff that was started up back here.
Was Dr. King there during that time?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was here, yeah.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
He spoke about 15 minutes.
Mm.
Everybody else spoke an hour.
Do you have any tapes on, was that available on video?
Well, they made some audio tapes, but since he only spoke
Audio
15
video.
minutes, I didn't even get it, you know.
But the whole thing, it's not anything visual, it's just all audio.
Right.
We're doing some visual tapes.
Are they selling them? I don't know.
But there were several people.
They were selling audio tapes, yeah. Okay, why don't we just end this tonight?
I'm
Yeah.
meditating now.
Yeah, you know.
Tapping into the energy.
I do
Yeah,
have one final
Now go
question.
ahead.
Earlier you spoke about the pharaohs being embalmed,
Mhm.
trap the soul,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't have to incarnate back here.
Mhm.
How would cremation affect that? Since
Well, the
that's what
cremation is
people
the
are doing today.
the real aspect of it was to burn the body so that the soul can reincarnate quick enough that you can get that soul. And that soul could remember the previous life. That was the original intent, that you could work with it and it wouldn't be around here like a little idiot. One minute, and it's usually it was beneficial to people who had great knowledge. Not some fool, out here and all, it didn't matter. But people who had great knowledge and stuff, they didn't want to lose that particular knowledge. It might take years before that person wakes back up. So what they would do is they would cremate the body so that the body could reincarnate fast. Because the soul would know what it is and stuff, and it can go where it need to go, and then they could basically do channeling to find out where it was, so that they could put that person right back on the spiritual path. So that was the original reason for cremating the body, to release the soul, so it can be done, so that they could be used within the same time frame of the life that we live in, other than something reincarnated. We gotta catch 1,000 years down the road because because of ignorance, you see. So that's what it was about also too. Mm-hmm.
As far as you understand, is reincarnated souls, do they just come into our a body randomly, or are they coming back?
No, reincarnation just means born on the earth or earth realm. Every soul that's down here reincarnates. You see what I'm saying? Just means if you born on the physical, this is a physical incarnation. You see what I'm saying? even energy that don't have soul that reincarnate. White people reincarnate. The difference is they have a spirit, but not necessarily a soul. You see, everything reincarnates down here. It's not a, it's actually a prison term. No, there ain't nothing beautiful about it.
So that means we can't reincarnate into the mutants?
No. Our reincarnation, it takes a shadow with it, which means that the melanin is a shadow, and there's a little white light in it, and literally, that white light, because it's a soul, it gives off a shadow. You know, you got fire and it has a soot that comes. Well, because we have a soul, which is a sun, it gives off a shadow. Because they don't have a soul, there's no sun to give off a shadow. So for the mere fact when we reincarnate, we have to reincarnate into shadow bodies, you see what I'm saying, to give off that shadow. And so it has something to do with this shadow that's with us, which is melanin, the carbon. And it goes to carbon bodies. Now, there is this part too. That 5% of Europeans that's white, born in white families are not white. The gene pool the physical outer appearance could be white, but they have souls based on those are just black people they're incarnated or born into a white gene pool structure based on some type of miscegenation or some type of race mixing. And I'm not talking about what we call a mulatto. I'm talking about white people, but that's like 5%. You see what I'm saying? Of the whole total population of them. But those are not white people, those are black people. What's that?
Which would cover those whites who claim that they were black and not black.
Right.
Some of them, yeah. Right. Yeah. It would, yeah. But not all of them that claim that shit is telling the truth too. So every motherfucking white person say they was black. It's not necessarily not necessarily was black also, but you do have some that claim that. Now, Carl Jung, he saw himself in a high supplement on his deathbed. He was a black man. You see what I'm saying?
Pretty dark as a white man.
Huh?
I said he was pretty dark as a white man.
What's the name saw two guardian angels standing beside him? Two black guardian angels.
Who's that?
Frank Sinatra. You know.
He said that, he told somebody.
Huh?
He told somebody.
Yeah, he mentioned that, yeah.
How can you tell a truly a white person? Is it a blonde hair, blue eye, or green eyes? Or?
No, I don't think it has nothing to do with that thing at all, because white person is anything, I'm just saying mainly your damn Europeans. The whole blonde head and stuff like that, now that's just a trait. That's just a trait. But basically your Europeans, period, is truly white people. If you got only 5% that's black, then the majority of them are white people, You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't necessarily mean that because they have dark skin, or whatever, it's not still a mutated strand. So it's, it's so messed up down here and stuff until all the energy has got to just go to where it's gonna go. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's what, even when it comes to black people. It's just, you see what I'm saying? It just left it, the few, down here to do something with it and all, and that's what's gonna happen.
So you said that some black people have been cloned.
Yeah.
Now that they said that they mapped the human genome, they can do anything to us now, right?
Yeah, well, except they can't deal with the soul stuff. Get the movie Johnny 2.0. And they talk about the cloning, and the whole mystery of that is that it was trying to clone a soul. They was trying to do the soul thing. The clone does not suspect itself to be a clone, but the human genome shit, they mapped that shit fucking 40 years ago. They just come out with that old ass information. Anything they give you, man, is always 40, 50 years old. When they mapped that shit in World War II, that's what the whole cloning experiments was. Hell, if they could clone the whole body, the human genome is simple.
What was the name of that movie again?
Johnny 2.0. You know, that's simple and all based on that, what you call it. But then again, that whole DNA thing is bullshit. That's not but some lower level stuff and stuff. 2 strands and shit when we got thousands. But that's in the melanin and they call that junk DNA. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you some stuff, even though they talk about it on the X-Files and they talk about it on the movie Fifth Element, where they showed the woman, that was the Shekinah up in there. They showed the woman and all said, this is her DNA strand that was done. I'm talking about they had a genetic, they had a black, they actually had a white genetic conference back, I think in the fall of, in 98.
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah.
And one of the women came and said, shit, they can't even, our shit is off the damn charts. But how can you map that? Because a lot of that stuff doesn't have anything to do with physical or biological and stuff. It changes up, it's chaos. You can't map it because it's, you know, it's chaos. It never stops moving, it changes up. It mutates and stuff. It's, you know, it's higher than that. You know, so the human genome shit he talking about is just, that shit is old news and stuff. It really ain't talking about some 2-strand stuff. You know, that's old news. You know, also too. Give me some more questions.
Hey, Bobby, why don't we just end it tonight?
Yeah, okay.
Come back tomorrow at 3, you know.
Come back tomorrow and we're gonna go some more. We're gonna go into the voodoo and chaos wars. Still got a lot of other stuff to cover and stuff, you know, also too. Tomorrow we'll deal also with the way of the secret lover.